Hello my friends and welcome back to Anneli's journaling. Today we are going to continue with some pages in Ella's journal. I have made another background page with a printable with an old wallpaper, and then I have put a few pages or pieces of old pages on it, so it looked like this pages has been glued down and then ripped off. So I thought I could do a little page with a picture of Ella's house and an old letter to use as a pocket. So I'm putting another background so it's a bit layered. Love the layering. So I'm using one of my antique book pages that I have painted a flower on with watercolor. And I decide to put it a little bit to the left so I can put the picture of the house on top and the letter down in the corner. I have backed the letter with textile and sewn around it so it's sturdy as a pocket. So I'm trying my two pictures where I want it and decide that the pocket will be down in the corner and the picture of the house a bit further up on the page. It's easier to use the pocket if it's a bit down on the page, so you can put things in it without sticking up over the edge of the book. And this page goes well with the next page where I have a picture of an old stove and also the old wallpaper in the house. So it goes well together. I decided to glue also the picture with the house on 3 pages, no, on 3 sides. So in case I want to put something more behind it, we can use this too as a pocket. Just holding it down for a second so I'm sure it stays in place. So the next thing we are going to do is decorate the white big pocket on the left that I have made out of and we are going to use. I'm looking in my pile I have made from my own stash, and I have used laces and scanned them on my printer and made a page. Use this one. It's a bit white, so I'm taking some distress ink and make it a little bit more old looking. And then I decide that I will have a big pocket on this page. So I got the idea that I could cut it in 2 and put a lace on one part, so it became more dimensional and a big nice pocket. I'm thinking. There we go, cutting it in half or ripping it in half. So then the little part will go on the left side as just glued down as a background, and then I will use the bigger part as the pocket. A little bit of ink, of course, on the ripped edge, and then I'm gluing it down. Then I will put the other a bit so it overlap the edge of this one. That way we don't need to put something on the right side. So I'm going to use one of my antique laces for this, that has been on an old pillowcase from the beginning of 1900. I really want to get a lot of old antique laces into this journal to really make it feel old and genuine. Checking so the lace is a little bit out of the edge, and then I'm just cutting off the excess. There was a lot of noise around me tonight. The neighbor was out with his tractor, and I decided to do a voiceover instead. It was a bit irritating with all the noises from the motor. So sometimes it's better to get rid of the noise and have a quiet time with the voiceover. I decided that this page is a little bit too white, so I'm taking a piece of my eco-dyed textile that actually was done today. I have put in a little reel and a short on Instagram and here on YouTube, so you can see the result from the bundles that I did yesterday. And I also did some more today with different colors in pink and blue. Did a lot of these small ones, so these are perfect to do decorations and small snippets from. Maybe do some embroidery on top of them. I want to sew around this, so I'm making a lot of holes to make it straight and nice looking, and then I embroider with some white thread. I'm still thinking that it's a bit boring, so I want to do a little collage with other pieces of textile. This is from an old quilt. I have this little piece left. Looks like a pink cross stitch. I think that will go nicely with the embroidery I already done. You know me and the details. It needs to be kind of in a way so I can really feel that I am satisfied with the job I do. And actually I'm still not satisfied, so I decide that we need another piece with some blue on it. And maybe even a label. But let's try with the textile first and see if that's enough. The pages are so big, so sometimes we need to put on more things than we thought from the beginning. Straighten the edge a little bit. Like that. Little textile collage. But I think we need a label. I have this little piece from one of the textile printables I did. I printed out on textile in an earlier recording. If you want to see how I made it, you can just go down in my playlist. It's really easy, actually. I have just used tape and taped down a piece of textile onto a paper and printed it on my regular ink printer. And it worked almost perfect. I got a few black spots on them, but I can totally use them as they are. And this was a printable from Ruby and Pearl EXO with a lot of old text on it. Really beautiful printable. Straighten it a bit and cutting the corners. And I quickly decide that it will go on top of the big pocket. Put a little bit more of the stress ink on the white page. to tone it down a little bit more. So it's time to glue it into the journal. Try to get it in frame so you can see properly. Making sure to put some glue on the knots for the embroidery, so I'm sure that it will not rip. Now I'm putting the edge kind of 1/2 centimeter overlapping the other paper, so we don't see the white paper under it. I think we have 3 pages left to do backgrounds on, so it's not so many things more to do on the background pages, so soon we can fill it up with some nice fine things and a bit more of the old photos and cards. So the next page will be with a big pocket. I have backed the page with antique book papers, and then I have made this big pocket, and now I'm decorating it with another printable from I actually don't know at the moment. I need to check that out. I'm a bit bad on keeping track of my digital printables. I think we need some layering on this too, so I'm taking a bit of packing paper and just ripping it on for all 4 pages. No, all 4 sides. So we can do some fun layering. Gluing this piece down on the side. And then I'm thinking we need another layer, so maybe another piece of textile or lace. Here you can see my beautiful blue fingers. I have been eco-dyeing this textile today, so I'm blue all over. I'm choosing this piece with a little rust on it. I had some rusty butterflies in some metal. So we got this beautiful rust pattern on it. So I thought it goes with the flowers that was a bit rust colored, and then the blue for the blue flowers. Decided to do another layer using an original old book paper. No problem to layer these. Both the brown paper and the book pages are so thin. So then I'm ripping and decide to do a few cross stitches on it, just for a decoration. Maybe a little bit of script. So I'm just scribbling and making some text and numbers on the book page. I'm choosing a O2 size, so it's very thin. And I'm just scribbling, I'm not writing anything special. Just looks like some text. Putting a little bit more distress ink on the edge and ripping it a bit so it looks a bit more distressed and old. So I decided a little label from my stash will finish off this page. Then I just found a little piece of textile label and decided to use that too. Can never have too much layers, you know. Making it look a little bit more old. So then I'm just gluing that down on the piece that will be the pocket. could have done it as a double pocket, but I think it's so big, so it's enough with one. Leaving a little bit of the brown paper on the edges. More glue. Little bit of the darker vintage photo ink on the edge. Here you can see the old book pages that I have put behind the pocket. So those will be seen peeking behind this big pocket. I think now when I can see it like this, that the little textile piece was perfect with the blue tone, going also with the piece of textile that are on the other side. A balanced page. That's calming. Like that. I really love that rose pattern on those papers. My kind of colors, brown, brownish blue. Making sure that the edges are glued down, and then I'm just crinkle it up a bit to look a bit more old. So a couple of more pages. This is another picture with the mother and daughter that we can use in the journal. And I think I'm going to use one of the collaged book pages that I did the other day as a background. And maybe do that as a top spot too. So I'm going for one with some more pink on it. So it will go well with the background paper that is a bit pinkish. moving it around a bit to see where I want it. Tone down the white a bit. It was a black and white photo, so I'm using a little bit of the antique linen distress ink to make it look a bit more old. This was so cute, so I wanted to save the original and did a copy of it. So when that is glued down, I decided that we needed another decoration for it. So I found this also really old embroidery on top of a velvet piece, and it's hand embroidered with small flowers and leaves. Really cute. I have kind of hoarding it for a while. Making sure that it's glued down on that embossed paper. And then the beautiful little embroidered velvet piece. So the next piece we're going to decorate is a printable that I have sewn onto textile. And I'm going to use one of my eco-dyed thin textiles that I have dried today. And I'm going to layer the textile and also some lace. I'm just distressing and ripping the textile a bit so it don't look so modern. I don't want to cover up the text as it's really beautiful, so I decide to cut it in half. As we are going to put a little bit of lace on top of it also, we don't need it to be so wide. And then a little snippet of lace layered on top of that. And the last thing we are going to do today is a photo frame. This is a copy of a wooden frame that I have in my stash. I just put it on my printer and scanned it. I'm going to back it with some paper so it gets a little bit sturdier, and then put in a picture of Ella in it when she's a little bit older. Making sure I put it the right way. And then I'm gluing on 3 sides so that I can put in the picture before we glue it all together. So this will be the picture we can use in this frame. So I'm cutting off the excess to make sure it fits the frame. A little bit more maybe. I realized that this photo also is black and white, so it needs a bit of distressing to make it a bit warmer to go with the rest of the journal. And the old photos that are a bit more, the originals is a bit more yellowish than these ones that are printed. So then when I have put this picture where I want it, I'm gluing it to the back and also glue the side, so I'm making sure that it won't move. So I think that we will stop there for tonight. I hope you got some inspiration. See you soon again. Until next time, bye bye from Sweden.